Chukani to Frankfurt Watershed Partnership. It's wonderful to see everybody. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us for our annual community service get-together. So we have an agenda that we're going to go through. We want to move to that. We're going to do some welcome and introductions. We have a wonderful guest who's going to be talking about volunteering with TTF, and then staff will go through community service opportunities. So, and we want to make sure that we're respectful of everybody's time. So what I'm going to do is we're going to attempt to do this popcorn, so pay attention. I'm going to ask TTF staff to introduce themselves first, and then we'll make sure that everybody else gets an opportunity to say your name and your affiliation. I want to do a quick shout out. We have some of our best friends on this call, some of our special best friends, but I just want to do a shout out for Nick Gayton from the Philadelphia Water Department. We would not be able to do the work that we do without the Philadelphia Water Department, so we're really happy that Nick has taken the time to join us. So Ryan, you want to go first?
Yep. I am Ryan. I am the Upstream Conservation Leader at TTF. I handle our volunteer programs in Montgomery County, and I will pass it on to Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily Wetzel, she, her pronouns. I'm the Development and Administration Manager for TTF. I'll popcorn to Malcolm.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Malcolm Bundy. I am the Philadelphia Community Organizer with TTF. So I handle a lot of the outreach for our programming, connecting the community members with the programs that we offer, getting them connected with the resources. So yeah, and then I'll pass it.
Maybe Jonathan could be.
Hi, nice to see you, Malcolm. Hello again. I am Jonathan DeBrasky from Frankfurt Friends School and the Special Projects Coordinator over there. Glad to be here. I'll pass it on to Mark. Thank you.
Mark, I'm not sure if you heard, but you're next.
Yeah, I couldn't hear Jonathan. Sorry about that. Couldn't hear him at all. I'm Mark Fallon. I'm from Briarbush Nature Center in Abington, the director here, and been here for about 20 years. And we're always looking for ways to connect with community volunteers.
Dottie, would you introduce yourself next?
Sure. I'm Dottie Baumgarten. I have my own business, Sustainable Choices. I live in Glenside. I've been involved with TTF off and on quite a few ways. I'm also working with the Water Department times too. So there's a lot of times when there's crossover with what TTF is doing and what I'm very interested in it. And I will pass it on to Jade.
Hello, it's really nice to meet everyone. This is my first community thing, so I'm excited. I just graduated from Temple University this past December in environmental studies and a minor in city and regional planning. So I'm really looking to get involved, to get started. I would really be excited to serve any of these opportunities. So I'm excited to get to know everyone and see what opportunities are available. Thank you.
Let's see here. Maureen, would you introduce yourself?
I'm Maureen Lusak, and I'm with the Jenkintown Borough Environmental Advisory Committee. I'm just checking out, see what's going on.
Love to see that. Let's see. Mayanne, would you introduce yourself?
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I am Mayanne Garzon. I am from the Iglesia Ni Cristo, or Church of Christ, local congregation of Philadelphia. I'm the minister's wife. My husband, Brother Bernard Garzon, is currently on a visitation to some of our brethren, so he wasn't able to join this meeting. We are leveling up our volunteer works in this area, especially we are in Frankfurt area, like 19124 zip code. and we are really looking for more volunteering opportunities. We've already contacted Riverfront North for tree planting, shared food program for food packing, and we also do a lot of things for just like beautification and cleanup drives. So we hope to just know more opportunities where we can volunteer. We have around 100+ members in our local congregation alone. So we just want to be more active for community works. Thank you.
Lovely. Is there anyone else who hasn't introduced themselves? Nick, maybe you haven't been formally introduced.
Yeah. Sorry. My name is Nick Gaden. I do community outreach and engagement for North Philadelphia, in Lower North Philadelphia. We call it District 3 for green stormwater infrastructure projects in the area. So really happy to be here and listen in. And I can popcorn it over to Beth. I don't think Beth has introduced herself.
Thanks, Nick. I'm Beth Yount, and I work for Penn State Extension. I coordinate the Master Watershed Steward Program in Philadelphia, and I'm looking forward to connecting my new class of volunteers with TTF opportunities.
Lovely. Is there anyone who hasn't had a chance to say hello? I know that it looks like maybe Dina hasn't said hello yet.
Yes.
Hey,
Hi,
folks. Emily?
Yes, we can hear you.
You guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So we lost connection, so I have no idea what's been going on. It sounds like Emily jumped in to take care of us. It sounds like
Sounds like we're still having internet issues.
No, I think now we're fine. I'm really sorry. So I'm assuming that the Malcolm and Ryan and I dropped off for 2 seconds there. Yes?
Yes, and we're mostly through introductions. Dina was about to introduce herself.
Thank you. So Malcolm, are you on?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Malcolm, so why don't you introduce Dina, and we're going to need to go back for my section.
Okay.
We're already a little behind here.
So Ryan, if you want to skip ahead a few slides. I'd like to introduce our guest speaker for this afternoon. Dina Toucan is the managing director at Michael Page Recruitment Firm. Dina's been with Michael Page going on 12 years now, and she oversees the Philadelphia practice as well as part of the New York practice. Dina and Michael Page community have been volunteering with TTF for the past few years, and her commitment to Tacony Creek Park serves as an inspiration for others to get involved. We love working with them and hope to continue working with them in the future. I will pass it off to Dina now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Can everyone hear?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect. It's honestly been an honor to work with partner with the Watershed. I run a recruitment practice here, and we try a couple of times a year to find organizations to partner with, whether it's from a fundraising like opportunity or an actual like roll up your sleeves volunteer opportunity. And we kind of stumbled into Tacony a couple of years back, and it's been an awesome opportunity that people have really, the team has really gotten on board with. Really, the reason why we like it, the volunteering with you all is it's an opportunity to give back. It is also, in corporate setting, it's an opportunity for folks to just get out of the office together and kind of selfishly a team building experience just internally, get outside, have some fresh air, some exercise, and walk around. But also it's become something that we're kind of all now passionate about and helping. And I think we're really naively taken back the first time that we volunteered in terms of how much need there was, and for help. and for volunteers to really make an impact, and how quickly from, hearing from Malcolm and getting, kind of educated from their end, that how quickly it, even the little bit of time that we spend once a year, like picking, helping clean up, how quickly, it goes back to needing volunteers again to do that. So it's been a wonderful experience from our end. It's been incredibly easy to schedule, and that's one of the things that's, it's like, oh, like, is there only certain time slots or only certain days? And Malcolm and Julie have been, the whole team actually has been incredibly responsive, and flexible. I usually try and give them a month or two, heads up, and give them certain times that we're able to do. And they've been wonderful about working around, kind of our schedule to make the most of it. And they just always have it set up so nicely. There's tables, there's education. They do it where they speak to the people and have snacks ready if people need a snack or some water along the way. And it's been great. It's been a truly a great experience so far. I'm not sure. I mean, what brings us back kind of year over year? I mean, we believe in the mission. I think that's a big one. And feel passionate about the work that they do and truly see the need for it. It also aligns very much so with our corporate ESG kind of values. And really, like, it's on both sides equally kind of a sense of camaraderie and teamwork that we get to experience while volunteering together, and that part is kind of unmatched. You can and educational along the way. I mean, that Malcolm and the volunteers have really do kind of give us that insight as to what the Watershed partnership is all about, and kind of the impact that you all make. And we're just getting one little sliver of insight into it once, a couple times a year, but it's been remarkable.
Thank you so much, Dina. We really appreciate
course.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do try to make sure that these are fun. We need to have fun, and that they're also educational and
Yeah.
come back, which is really the most wonderful thing when we have organizations that come, that we see a few times a year. It's really nice. So we're going to go
Absolutely.
back, so that we can get back on track here. And there we go. So let's go to reconnect. There we go. So I'm just going to do an overview about TTF. We never pass up the opportunity to talk about what we do. And I know we have some new folks on this call, which is wonderful. So TTF's mission is to connect our watershed residents and communities to their creeks. We do that through education, stewardship, restoration, and advocacy, which I believe is the next couple of slides. So there you go. I mean, right now what we're doing is education. And generally that's really sort of combined with stewardship, which is much more hands-on, taking care of, working with people to really take care of our public spaces, our creeks, our trails. Ryan, can we go to the next? What happened to? Okay. Two real focuses. One real focus is the restoration work. And that's, areas where we need assistance in terms of making sure that trees get planted and places are maintained. And then this also is an opportunity. We work with a lot of folks on advocacy. So that's what we do all across our 30 square mile, very impaired watershed: education, stewardship, restoration, and advocacy. Can I have the next slide? There we go. So those are restoration projects. Those are all the sites that you can see there, and they're pretty spread across the watershed. So, because of our geography, there are a lot more creeks in our upstream communities because everything wasn't piped like the city did. So there's a lot more sort of work to do there. And then, can we go to the next slide? And then in the city, our focus is really Tacony Creek Park. So this is a 150-acre park with a circuit trail running through it. It is the remnant. It is what is left of our creek system in Philadelphia. So, all the tributaries were piped. This is our urban watershed park. The water department funds us to do this work, to work closely with Philadelphia Parks and Recreation. And we do a lot of work that's focused on improvements, community engagement, programming, and restoration. So, and we spend a lot of time cleaning up this park. There isn't any Parks and Recreation full-time staff in there. So what we're going to do next, I think we have the Keepers page too. So we also support a friends group in Tacony Creek Park. And this is, there's a website for the park itself, which is really wonderful. So it's tcpkeepers.org. You know, we have our TTF website, and then we have the Keepers website. So there's a lot, it's actually, we're really proud of this website. There's a lot of great information there about the kind of work that we do in the park. There's maps, there's information about some of our special projects. There's a lot of resources and videos, information about the master plan. So take some time to look around at that. It's pretty interesting. And we really, you know, we started this website and there wasn't a lot on it. And then we got really busy making sure that we had a lot of things going on. So this is a really great website to look at. Next slide. Next slide. So what we're going to do now, we're going to hand this over to Ryan and Malcolm, who are going to take us through the kind of opportunities that we have to work with you on. Again, so much of the work that we get done is with volunteers. So they're going to take you through some of the things that you can work with us on in the coming year. And I'm just going to remind them that we need to be brief. Because we need to make sure that people have an opportunity to ask questions. Thank you.
So, hi again, everybody. Ryan. So I'm going to briefly touch on some of the monthly cleanup opportunities that we have, and then Malcolm's going to touch a little bit on some of those in Philadelphia. But in Montgomery County, so when we're talking Montgomery County, Abington, Cheltenham, Jenkintown, we host cleanups generally once monthly at a different restoration site. So all the restoration sites are highlighted there on the map to your right there. We bounce around to probably 4 or 5 different sites a year. Cleanups usually go from March until November. Typically they're the second Saturday of each month, but they do float sometimes if there's a holiday or something else. And they usually run from 10 to 12 in the morning. So tasks that people usually do at these cleanups, usually it's a lot of invasive work. So removing invasive vines from trees and fencing, digging up some invasive shrubs. Some of these events also include plantings though, fixing some down fencing, and a number of other sort of projects in support of a restoration work. So these restoration sites we install them and then they grow and change as they get older. So there is a little bit of work here and there that we need help with beyond the work that we can do as a staff. So volunteers really provide a critical effort towards making sure that those projects are still functioning as we intended them to. So I'm going to pass it off to Malcolm now to touch on Philadelphia cleanup opportunities. Also, one other thing briefly, I forgot. If you have a group that can't make it to one of our regularly scheduled monthly cleanups, you're more than happy to reach out to us and we're happy to coordinate another day that might work better for you too.
Hi, good afternoon. I'll be keeping my camera off just to avoid any technical issues on my end. But as Ryan mentioned, in Philadelphia, we do a monthly cleanup on the second Saturday of every month in Tacony Creek Park. We also kind of move around based on where the greatest need is. The photo on the right is from our past Love Your Park Fall event where we had volunteers out in Tacony Creek Park cleaning up. The cleanups are on Saturday, we do the second one every month, and they are usually from 10 to 12, just to keep it flexible for people's schedules. Next slide, please. We also do a weekly cleanup in Tacony Creek Park every Wednesday from 3 to 5, along with the second Saturday cleanups. We've been doing these weekly. However, we're currently hiring for the stewardship assistant position that will normally facilitate these events. So right now they've been on hold for a little bit, but once we get that position filled, we'll be resuming them every week, Wednesday from 3 to 5. Much like Ryan mentioned, if you or your group would love to do a cleanup, but you can't make Wednesday one or the second Saturday cleanup, definitely feel free to reach out and connect with us. We'd be more than happy to facilitate finding a different time for you guys to come out to the park. We never want schedules to be a barrier getting people out. Next slide. In addition to cleanups, we also do our storm drain marking program. In Philadelphia, there was about 75,000 storm drains. A lot of them are unmarked. And this is an opportunity to raise awareness of where storm drains lead to. Because a lot of people don't realize that storm drains are leading to our creeks. People treat them as trash cans to dump any and everything down them. So this opportunity takes small, about 3-inch diameter plastic decals and sticks them on storm drains to help raise awareness of where the creeks lead to. In addition to that, we also canvass door-to-door flyers, educating residents that these storm drains have been placed, how to properly dispose of things like pet waste, automotive fluid, so they're aware that they have alternative options as opposed to dumping them down a storm drain. Next slide. So if you're interested in doing the storm drain marking activity, we have a bunch of resources on our website. We have a video that shows how to use the Partnership for Delaware Estuaries and Water Department storm drain marking app. It's really straightforward. It's a lot of fun doing this activity. So we have a couple different series of videos about how to install the storm drain marker, as well as how to use the Water Department's storm drain marking app. It's a really fun activity. It's great for people of all ages. I know we've done it several times with local churches and youth groups, and they had a really great time doing it as well. So I'll pass it back to Ryan for some more Montgomery County stuff.
Okay, so I'm going to touch a little bit now on a couple different monitoring programs that we have volunteers help with, and then we also do a little bit as a staff as well. So first I'm going to touch on road salt monitoring. So over the last several years, we've gotten more involved in this, both on a staff level and with volunteers as well. So when I talk about road salt monitoring, that's really monitoring the levels of salt that we find in our creeks, which are typically associated with winter snow events and road salt ending up in our creeks. So one of the things that most people don't typically think about during a winter storm is that when all the roads get super salted, the salt just doesn't disappear after the storm. What ends up happening is it slowly ends up finding its way into the stream. So it ends up accumulating in groundwater and entering the stream throughout the year. So it's not really just a problem in the winter. We see some extremely significant events in the winter. We also see a pretty stable, elevated level throughout the year as well. So some of the programs that we have for volunteers, so we partner with the Isaac Walton League of America. We started working with them in the fall of 2019, I think, in response to some winter salt events. A lot of salt came down during an event when it didn't snow a ton. So we worked on this initiative with the Pennypack Ecological Restoration Trust and Wissahickon Trails, where we had reached out to the Isaac Walton League. They have this program where volunteers can get test strips from them. And so these test strips are chloride test strips. So all you really need to do then is get a small water sample. You put this test strip in, and then it'll give us a salt reading, which will give us a pretty good approximation of what the salt level is in our stream at that given time. So volunteers have been helping with that since 2019. So the program expanded just from the winter salt watch when it started to just the salt watch now. So we're encouraging people to go out and gather salt readings throughout the year, not just during the winter. The cool part about the salt watch is that they have a very well-developed website, the Isaac Walton League, where you can see data from across the country that people are taking samples of. So it's good for comparison's sake. It gives us a good ballpark number. In addition to that, again, we do a lot of different staff sampling as well. We've had volunteers help before in getting water samples during storm events, but also starting in 2022, in response to, again, seeing increasing information about the salt levels in our streams. We started partnering with the Stroud Water Research Center. We revamped our salt fact sheet here, which you can see on the right, which gives a lot of localized information, but also some specific information about road salt and our streams. So it's double-sided. If you're interested in it, we'd be happy to share it with you as well, share with people. But in 2022, we began doing what are called chloride blitzes. So we do these twice a year in the spring and in the fall, and we have volunteers who come out and help us. And basically, what it is a number of volunteers meet at a site. They all go out and collect water samples from across the watershed and bring them back. We analyze them for a couple things, including salt, just to get an idea of what the salt levels in our streams are, not during the winter and at a specific time. So just giving us a snapshot of at this time, on this day, this is what the salt levels were across our entire watershed. And we typically do that during what we'd call base flow conditions. So when the water is at like a normal level, it hasn't rained, it hasn't snowed, nothing like that. So volunteers have been involved in that the last 2 years. We offer those opportunities twice a year as well. So that's a little bit about some of the salt monitoring that people can be involved in. We also have other monitoring opportunities as well. So I will touch on that after I talk about the pollinator box workshops here. So pollinator box workshops are something that we've offered the last couple of years, where we can come out and talk to a group and set up a workshop where they can build these boxes that you can see here on the left. On the right, you can see a picture of someone painting one. But what they really are, think of them as birdhouses, but for our native species of bees and wasps. So they provide habitat for our native species of bees and wasps, but a lot of our restoration sites. So these species of bees and wasps, typically almost all of our native pollinators that are bees and wasps are actually ground or cavity nesters. So they rely on either plant stems or holes in the ground to nest. So these boxes then just mimic a natural nesting environment for these species. So we like to add those at some restoration sites. So we can come out and do a workshop where people can learn about building them. We have resources. We have a video online that walks people through building them and things to consider. We also have the schematics of what we built, so we can walk people through that virtually as well. But a good activity for like kids and families and stuff to build them. So we've done that before. That's an opportunity as well. And the last opportunity that I'm going to touch on is our Streamkeeper program. So our Streamkeeper program is a volunteer citizen science initiative that people participate in monthly. This began in 2014 through funding from the William Penn Foundation. Really, it's just encouraging local community members to become more actively concerned and involved in their watersheds and become better advocates for their watersheds. So the volunteers will go out once monthly to a section of stream near their house. You can see a bunch of these sites on the right here. You have about 20 sites now that are monitored by between 25 and 30 different volunteers. But they go out once monthly, perform a physical assessment, temperature readings as well. And they're really out there to give us long-term baseline data on our stream and also alert us of if there's any other issues with our stream or a small staff, so we can get to every single reach and small section of stream in our watershed. In addition to this monthly monitoring, there's a training program where they can learn more about things related to the watershed, water health, advocacy, all of those things. And our stream keepers are also very involved in helping at cleanups, community events, tabling at events, writing letters to the editor, talking to their local municipal commissions, all of that stuff as well. So it's been a pretty successful program in building a knowledgeable base of people. We're always accepting volunteers for that in Montgomery County as well. So if anybody's interested, be happy to connect with me. I'm going to pass off back to Malcolm.
Thank you. As Julie mentioned earlier, we support a Friends group known as the Stony Creek Park Keepers. The TCP Keepers are a registered Philadelphia Parks and Rec Friends group that we support, and they're made up of committed neighbors who work to improve the health and well-being of the community and themselves through nature. And they're committed to encouraging the preservation of Tacony Creek Park. The Tacony Creek Park Keepers meet virtually on the fourth Thursday of every month from 6 to 7, with the next meeting being held on Thursday, February 22nd next week. The keepers have been fantastic volunteers, assisting with everything ranging from cleanups in the park to helping out at various events. They've also served as advocates for the park, voicing their concerns regarding issues and advocating for ways to address them. One of our Tacony Creek Park keepers, is Dallas. We've been working with him and a couple other keepers to advocate for getting fencing around Tacony Creek Park. So they've been instrumental in protecting Tacony Creek Park. We rely on them a lot because the small staff, we can't always be in the park. So they've really been helpful as our eyes and ears. If you have a love for Tacony Creek Park and would love to be more involved, I highly encourage you to become a TCP keeper. And you can do so by joining us for a meeting, or if you want to connect with me. As I mentioned, we hold these meetings on the fourth Thursday of every month virtually from 6 to 7. That's an opportunity to connect with other park community neighbors and discuss ways to help improve the park, bring resources to the park, and improve it for the community. Next slide. We also host a wide range of programs in the park, such as our larger seasonal events, such as our Birds of a Feather, summer block parties, and fall festivals, as well as other programming that we do, such as our bird walks, fishing that we'll be doing later this year. These events are great opportunities for people to get involved. We know not everybody is always available for cleanup, or people have to switch it up. So if you would like to get involved in other ways, helping out at a program or event is another great way to get involved. These can range from welcoming guests to the event, such as our Birds of a Feather, or assisting with the kids' craft section, to also helping set up and break down for the events as well. If you have ideas for other activities that you would like to volunteer for, such as if you're really passionate about bird watching or foraging, and you would like to lead an activity like that, definitely feel free to reach out. We're always looking to expand, and we love community feedback for our programming. So if you want to volunteer in that sense, we'd love to get you guys involved. In terms of programming, Dirty Ann, is there anything that I'm missing that you'd like me to touch on? Do you have anything else to speak about?
No, I think that covers a lot of it. Look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah. As you can see on the photo on the left, that is a photo of our Creek Mobile. It's one of our pop-up environmental, mobile environmental education units. So we love having people help out with that at events. We would love to train you on that. It's a super great activity for kids and families. It's always incredibly popular. Yeah, if you ever want to get involved, we'd love to have you come up to an event. We'll go to the next slide. This is just a link to it's a photo of our events calendar that we can kind of get a sense of all the things that we have going on from month to month. We always try to stay busy, and then we always have opportunities for people to get involved. So it's just to get a sense of what's coming up. If you guys want to be more involved, you can always take a look at our events calendar just to see what's coming up and how you can get involved. And that's, if you want to go to the next slide. If you'd like to stay in touch, this is how you can reach us. As I mentioned, my name is Malcolm. I'm the Philadelphia Community Organizer. You can always reach out to us at our office. The number is down below, or reach out through email. And our emails are just our first name, ttfwatershed.com. If anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, anything they want to talk about.
But thanks, folks. I hope that gave you a good overview of the kind of volunteer opportunities that we have. Like these folks said, we have flexibility. So if you're talking about bringing a group of 20 to help with the cleanup, we will we'll accommodate you. That's a lot of folks to help us out. We also like to make sure that these are really educational. So if there's specific sort of questions or issues that you want your folks to learn about, we are always happy to do that too. And we are also always looking for people with skills who can come out and help us expand programs that we offer, particularly in the city. The other thing I just want to mention is you can see on that Stay in Touch page, we are really active on social media. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, the former Twitter, Instagram. We have a beautiful Flickr album, which people should feel free to, if you're looking, I know that the water department does this, but we have really beautiful photographs of both activities and people as well as wildlife. Ryan and Dorian are incredible photographers, and we love to share those pictures. So if you're looking for a really beautiful butterfly or bird, we love to have, the reason that we post them is so people can use them, and we just ask for credit. And we're also on YouTube. So there's all that, and then again, the 2 websites. So I just want to open up for questions and see if there's, and comments, if people have something to share, that would be great, or specific questions. I know people on this call who generally have really great questions. So please feel free to jump in. We have about 15 minutes left. So just unmute yourself and go for it.
Okay, I'll go. Hi, everyone.
Jade.
Thank you again for sharing, and thank you, Julie, for inviting me and getting me involved. I'm really excited. As I mentioned, I recently just graduated from Temple, and I'm just like thrilled to get started. I just want to get in the field and start learning and getting involved because I feel very passionately about these concerns. One thing I noticed that you mentioned, Julie, was you said this program is in partnership with the Philadelphia Water Department. And I did apply to the Philadelphia Water Department because they're having a green stormwater infrastructure monitoring co-op and internship. But I don't know if anyone, I feel like 2 people here are from PWD, but it says like students only. Is that like pretty strict? Because I've already heard back saying like, they're like saying like the opportunity like doesn't fit my status, but like is that pretty strict, or is that like, is there any opportunity? Because I want to get involved with like green stormwater stuff, but I don't know if anyone knows if
Nick,
that.
you know that, Nick?
So, right, I was going to say, so Jade, the Philadelphia Water Department has thousands of employees. But I applaud you for being forthcoming about looking for a job. I mean, I think that's great.
No, I don't mean to be like
connecting. No, it's good.
Yeah, it's not
good.
just about the career. I'm sorry. I do
no,
want to get involved. I want to network. So I'm sorry. I don't mean to come off that way.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's networking is what some of this is all about too. And you actually have a really good group of people here to network with. So now I'm going to let Nick jump in.
Okay.
But I don't know if he has
Sorry.
any idea about the answer to this.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So I really can't speak on anything like HR related. Definitely
Yeah,
not
I
my
wasn't
thing,
sure how that works.
but I do literally do the engagement and outreach for green stormwater infrastructure. So it's right in that wheelhouse. I just put my email in the chat. Feel free to reach out.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure because I didn't know you guys were in partnership. So I'm like learning, and then I seen that Julie said that. So I was like, it doesn't hurt to ask.
It does not hurt. It does not hurt to ask at all. The water department is a city agency though. And as Nick said, it has a human resources department and has to follow certain civil service rules and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Nick would be happy to talk to you about what they do. We have a contract with the Philadelphia Water Department for the work we do in Tacony Creek Park because the water department is responsible for that, is responsible for our creeks and rivers, for our drinking water, and has the sewer system and the stormwater system are built underneath our creeks.
Right.
So the water department has a tremendous amount of very valuable infrastructure underneath the creek itself. And, part of the reason they fund us because they want people to access that park and that trail and that creek. And to improve it, they also, the more people that are using it and keeping an eye on their pipes, and their, and the sewer system is also very advantageous. And the focus is also making sure that we are keeping as much trash out of the creek and out of the river and ocean as possible.
Right. Thank you so much.
We'd be happy to talk to you about that more.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Kate,
we love Temple. We really love Temple. So
I just wanted to jump in. I will also send you my email in the chat. We are going to be posting for summer camp educator positions. So I know you have a background in environmental.
We lost you, Mark.
So that summer camp educator position opens in just a couple weeks. So you can email me and get more info.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Dottie, any words of wisdom?
Well, Jade, oftentimes I've sat down with someone in your position and said, you want to have a coffee chat? And I can
I
point
would
you,
love to have a coffee chat.
I'll drop my email in there too.
Oh.
Yeah, I have no power. I can't tell you, but I can say, well, I know about and can name 10 different places where you might want to look. Or certainly volunteering like you're doing with TTF is actually a really good place to start. There's a lot of other places you can start in that kind of way too, but my heart's with TTF. So,
Excited.
I'll drop my email in too. Yeah. Yep.
I appreciate it a lot. I'm excited to be part of this community.
Yeah, this is a great community. So I noticed in the chat, Nicole, that you put in a question. So we work, we recycle. We work with the streets department and Keep Philadelphia and Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful to do as much recycling as possible. The Friends of the Penny Pack actually doesn't exist anymore. But it's a different watershed. And we really focus pretty geographically on our watershed, but we are friends with other watershed groups and support them. The Friends of the Penny Pack had some legal issues related to liability, and they had to go out of business. There are still folks, I know, volunteers cleaning up in the Penny Pack. There is still, the city has a Penny Pack Environmental Center there. But recycling is part of what we do as well. And at cleanups, we, it's a pain, the staff will tell you that, but we generally separate glass. Most of what we clean up is pretty dirty, so it really can't go into the recycling stream. But glass is one thing that is really heavy, and that we make an effort to separate and then make sure that that is recycled. A lot of the stuff that's really dirty it just is trash, unfortunately. Anything else, folks? Did we leave anything out? We still have some time. I know, and I'm so sorry. It was really very not fun to be missing most of the introductions in like internet purgatory. But I know I'm hoping that Beth got a chance to talk about the work that the Master Watershed Stewards do. I don't know if you want to say more, Beth. Is she there? There she is.
I am, and I was actually walking around trying to find a better signal because I have also had a difficulty all day long with every meeting. So hopefully everyone can hear this. It's really great to see everybody here. I think I know most of these names. And Mark, my children who are now adults spent their early childhood at Briarbush. So nice to see you. I have an incoming class of around 30 new Master Watershed Stewards who are looking for opportunities. And one thing I would love to do is to find maybe a dedicated time to work with TTF because I have had a difficult time finding people in the Northeast. I do find lots of sad people from Pennypack who are looking for some place to go, but I haven't really figured out how to corral that group. So I will be reaching out to Malcolm and to Ryan, I guess, about seeing if we can come up with like a regular work day that I can recruit specifically for and have people come together and be more connected and maybe even do some recruiting in the TTF watershed in the future.
Sounds good. Okay, well, I'm going to say if nobody has anything else, I know people will really be happy about having 10 minutes. To have found 10 minutes of their time. So thank you, everybody. If TTF staff, if we forgot anything, please like raise your hand or yell at me. But I think this was really wonderful. Did I forget to say anything to people? I don't think so. So we are eminently available. You can call the number of the office. You can email us. You can text us. People contact us on Instagram. It's pretty crazy. So please feel free to reach out. And we look forward to working with you all in 2024. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for all the great work you guys